Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. Today we are going to take a look at our friend Batman as a Green Lantern, as a Yellow Lantern, and as an evil Black Lantern. Basically, I made a video with a whole bunch of Batman costume, and one of our friends on YouTube, Calum, asked, how come I didn't show my Yellow Lantern Batman? And I thought, why settle with just Yellow Lantern Batman when I can show all the Lantern Batman? So basically, we're going to go through a whole bunch of Batman from the Green Lantern Corps, from the Yellow Lantern Corps, and from the Black Lantern Corps. Some will be straight from the comics, some will be totally made up for this Universe Online. Lately, we got a new Green Lantern Batman, like not that long ago. With Batman Dark Knight's Metal, we got the Dawnbreaker, which is, I guess, the latest incarnation or the latest idea for how to mix Batman with a Green Lantern, but I'm going to go through various Green Lantern Batman that we got through the years. And the very first that I can remember was this one. It was from a comic called Batman The Darkest Night or something like that, or just Batman Darkest Night. And it was basically, so it was what if Batman had the Green Lantern ring as opposed to Hal Jordan. Basically, instead of Hal Jordan getting the Green Lantern ring, our friend Bruce Wayne actually got the Green Lantern ring instead. And there was a whole bunch of weird mishmash. Like we had the Joker, which was a sort of Sinestro at the same time. So it pretty much became like an amalgam of Batman, not just Batman, but the Batman's Rogue Gallery with Green Lantern and Green Lantern's Rogue Gallery. And it was pretty much the first incarnation of such character that I remember seeing in the comics. It could have been that before that we actually had another Batman type character that was a Green Lantern character. Like maybe there was I was going to say What If, but What If was a Marvel series. There probably was like this was an Elseworld story, and before Elseworld, I guess we had some such imaginary stories. But this is the very first one I remember seeing, and this was part of the Elseworld line that DC had at the time. If you remember, there was the first Elseworld, as I recall, was Gotham by Gaslight. Technically, a bit before Gotham by Gaslight, we had the Dark Knight Returns, but at the time, Dark Knight Returns wasn't really an Elseworld. It was just like a future alternate story, sort of. But I think it was retconned and as an Elseworld a few years later, once the DC actually had an Elseworld imprint. Ironically enough, I think with the New 52, or even a bit before the New 52, DC pretty much discontinued the Elseworld line, but we still got a whole bunch of Elseworld type stories. I guess the whole Dark Knight's Batman metal thingy pretty much would count as a pretty darn big Elseworld type of story. So here we have our friend the Darkest Knight, which was basically a mixture of Green Lantern and Batman. Basically, it was a Green Lantern costume with the Batman cape and sort of the Batman cowl, but instead of having the Batman ears, the mask had this sort of spiky mask effect. Like it was sort of the Green Lantern mask on top of the Batman cowl without the ears. And then there was a version of Batman in the Page of Green Lantern that kind of looked like that. Basically, Green Lantern gave his ring to Batman for like 5 minutes, just to give him an idea of what it takes to actually be Green Lantern and what it takes to be able to use the Green Lantern ring with willpower. You can probably Google it, and you should be able to see the cover that Ethan Van Sciver did for this look. And I have to admit, he did a really good job at mixing the Batman look with the Green Lantern look to make something that looked a bit more natural than just trying to smash Green Lantern and Batman together without much sense. So it ends up giving us a pretty darn looking Batman Green Lantern, which we can reproduce fairly easily in this Universe Online. I guess you could make a few changes, like you could go for the thin slimline gloves if you don't have the Batman Beyond gloves, like I have right now. Or for the belt, there's a whole bunch of belt. I went with the simple utility belt. For the emblem, you can decide either go with the, here I went with the Dawnbreaker emblem, but you could go with either one of the Batman emblem if you have it, or you could go for the Green Lantern emblem, whichever you prefer would work well enough for this look. Here I went with the Dawnbreaker, which is Batman and Green Lantern mushed together, because that is kind of sort of what Ethan Van Sciver did in the comic. Basically, he gave him the Batman emblem, but on top of the emblem, we had the Green Lantern emblem, but as a shiny light effect, as opposed to just being the emblem. So basically, he had both emblem. He had the Batman emblem, and then he had a shining version of the Green Lantern emblem on top of the Batman emblem. Obviously, there's no way to really reproduce that within DC Universe Online, but using the Dawnbreaker emblem, that can get us pretty darn close to the look we're looking for. And then there's the evil Dawnbreaker look. There's a few goggles that I could have used. I decided to go with just the simple goggles because I kind of like them. And also, I went a bit overboard with the Spindrift shoulders. It allowed me to have a few more Batman Green Lantern emblem on our little friend here. So I kind of liked the look it gave the character, so I went with the Spindrift shoulders. But technically, if you want to recreate an accurate Dawnbreaker character, then just don't use the shoulders. For the chest, the Stalwart Defender chest is always a good option. And here I went with the Stalwart Defender pants as well. But if you don't have the Stalwart Defender, you could go with the Chevron Slimline for the chest and for the New Genesis for the pants. The boots, the tall classic boots, always works fine. And here, the Sinestro gloves always works fine as well. The back piece with the awesome bats comes from the Speed Metal set of gear. That's the Speed Metal back. And it gives us the closest thing we have to a Bat Aura right now. So if you want to have a Green Lantern character that uses the Bat Aura, that has some sort of Bat Aura, the Speed Metal back piece is your best bet right now. As you can see, it looks pretty darn good with this character. Obviously, it should be an evil villain character, but if we use a villain character, we won't be able to have the Green Lantern power, sadly. With a villain, we would have to settle with the Yellow Lantern powers. Again, for the goggles, there's a handful of goggles that could work, but I decided to go with these. They're not exactly what the goggles that our friend the Dawnbreaker was using, but it's close enough. And I actually kind of prefer those to some of the other options we have right now. Maybe at some point I'll add some goggles that will be even better to reproduce the Dawnbreaker, but I thought this look was close enough to give us a really nice version of the evil Batman, the Dawnbreaker. For a Batman of the Sinestro Corps, there's quite a few options we could go for. I'm going to try to cover at least a few of those. I don't think I will cover them all, but I will try to cover at least a small variety of options that we have. This is about as close to the... technically in the comic, Batman never really was a member of the Sinestro Corps, but there's two occasions where he did interact with the Yellow Lantern ring. The first time there was this Yellow Lantern ring at some point. It was even before the Green Lantern Sinestro Corps War. And there's this Green Lantern ring that tried to take possession of Batman, but then it had some sort of reaction where it said that, oh, Batman came into contact with her green ring or something like that, and because of that, the ring couldn't merge with Batman, couldn't take control of Batman, so the ring flew away. And at the time, as I mentioned, it was before the Sinestro Corps, and before they pretty much reinvented the look of Sinestro. So it was still the blue and black Sinestro costume. So you had Batman who almost became like an amalgam of Batman and the blue Sinestro costume. But again, it was just only for like a page and a half where the ring tries to take over Batman, doesn't seem to want to work, and then it flies away. It would have been a cool storyline if they had done that, but obviously they decided not to do that. And then later on in the pages of Forever Evil, if I'm not mistaken, at some point Batman uses a yellow ring. He pretty much just puts it on, and I don't think he actually really uses it. He puts it on, he turns into again, and look, that looks pretty much close to what we're seeing right now. It was pretty much an amalgam of the new version of Sinestro and the Batman costume. But basically, all he really did was he did put on the ring, not even to use the ring, but to. He somehow knew that putting on the ring would summon Sinestro somehow, so it was just a ruse to be able to summon Sinestro, so that Sinestro could sort of help him out, maybe. Another option, obviously, would be to use the Sinestro hoodie. Obviously, if you cannot get the Yellow Lantern set of gear that is a tier 5 for some reason, and if you get lucky enough to be able to get the Sinestro hoodie, I guess the Sinestro hoodie could be an option. The Yellow Lantern emblem that we can get. Right now we can only purchase it from the broker. Yes, technically we can still get the Sinestro emblem from the original time capsule or from a mega capsule if we're really lucky. But your best bet in order to be able to get the Sinestro emblem is to just buy it from the broker. I know I often say that, but usually that's the better option. Instead of hoping to be lucky and to get the item you want from a time capsule, you're much better off just getting the item that you want from the broker. Yes, that usually will mean that you're gonna have to play the broker, but playing the broker is the best way to be able to get what you want in this Universe Online, especially if what you want is some specific styles for your character. Earlier this year, we got a really nice Batman suit, a Dark Spectre suit, as a free gift for DC from DC Universe Online. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get to purchase this suit in some other way. Like they also gave us a Flash suit, and now the Flash suit is available for sale in the marketplace. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to purchase this new Batman suit from the marketplace at some point. Because as you can see, I gave the suit to my evil Yellow Lantern character, but obviously I would like to be able to give this suit to a couple of my characters as well. So hopefully at some point in time, we are going to be able to get this suit from the marketplace. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. I tweaked it a bit. Obviously, for the shoulders, I went with the Spindrift shoulders. I thought it looked so much better. And it allows me to have the Batman emblem and the Sinestro Corps emblem on my evil Yellow Lantern Batman. For the boots, I went with the Astral Alloy boots. I love those boots. I've been using them. I've used them for quite a while, even on my Magneto character. So whenever I get the chance, I try to use those boots. Not sure why. I really enjoy those boots. And I thought those looked better than the boots that come with the Dark Spectre suit by default. So I thought this was a slightly better option than using the Dark Spectre boots for this little guy. And of course, with the gold material, I had to make a gold version. I had to. And again, thanks to the Spindrift shoulders, I can have the emblem on this awesome looking bat suit. So even though the gold material pretty much covers everything, thanks to the emblem, we're still able to have a nice Sinestro emblem, or actually two nice Sinestro emblems, on our evil Batman of the Sinestro Corps. And last but not least, I made an evil Yellow Lantern using the Speed Metal set of gear. Basically, this is pretty much a mixture of the Batman Beyond set of gear, the Speed Metal set of gear, with a few other pieces, like the Spindrift shoulders, obviously, and the tall classic boots. And I thought it gave us a pretty awesome looking Batman of the Sinestro Corps. I love the shiny effects on the speed metal gear, and again the mixture of the speed metal with the Batman Beyond gear. I thought it gave us a pretty nice and pretty intimidating evil Batman character. Basically, once we got the Batman Beyond the set of gear, I knew that I had to use at least some of the Beyond set of gear to create an evil-looking Sinestro Corps character. Like, what's more frightening than an evil bat? So with the bat wings and all that, I thought it made our Sinestro character even more frightening and terrifying than before. And once we got the speed metal set of gear, I knew that I had to use this chest piece with the nice Batman emblem. Even though, yeah, it's technically it's Batman and the Flash, but I thought it worked really well with our Yellow Lantern character. And again, thanks to the shoulders, we can have the Yellow Lantern emblem on our friend, and we can have a nice bat-looking emblem thanks to the chest piece. And of course, we have our evil Batman from the Black Lantern Corps. And if you're wondering how can I create a Black Lantern Corps character, I'm going to show you in just a minute. So basically, I'm using the Black Lantern chest piece, but for everything else, that's pretty much nothing to do with the Black Lantern style. The belt, I think, is the Future Batman belt. The gloves are the Daring Vigilante gloves. For the cape, I went with the tailored cape because it's an evil zombie Batman, sort of. The tall classic boots always works fine. And the pants are the two-color slimline pants. So technically, the only real piece of gear that is a Black Lantern piece of gear is the chest piece. And of course, thanks to the spin drift and thanks to having the Black Lantern emblem, I can have not only the big Black Lantern emblem on the shoulder, on the chest piece of our character, but I can have it also on the shoulders. And how can I have a Black Lantern power? Quite simply, I'm using the Celestial Powers to work as a Black Lantern power. There's a few of those of the celestial power, like the corrupted powers, that has those awesome looking skulls as a power effect. And I thought these were perfect to recreate or mimic the Black Lantern powers. So yes, technically there's no Black Lantern power in this universe online, but if you use the celestial power as an evil villain and then you use the corrupted power, then you can have some pretty neat looking effect that look pretty much like a lantern power to me, a Black Lantern power to me. Obviously for the aura, you might want to go with the corrupted aura, but the corrupted aura is pretty hard to get by. I will show a version with the corrupted aura a little bit after that. Obviously, if you do not have the official Black Lantern chest, or if you decide for some reason to go with just the Black Lantern emblem with another chest piece, that is quite an option that you can do. Here, that's pretty much what I did with the Stalwart Defender chest. Obviously, you could go with any chest that you like. Once you have the Black Lantern emblem, you can pretty much use it with any pieces of gear that supports an emblem. And of course, in this case, I even went with the DC Bombshell Harley Quinn belt to be able to have a nice little bat emblem for our little friend, our little Black Lantern Batman. Again, the two-color slimline for the pants works fine. The tall classic boots works fine. And here I actually used the Batwoman cape as opposed to the tattered cape. And for the gloves, the Sinestro gloves are perfect for a lot of Lantern type characters. So that's a pretty nice way that you can recreate an evil Black Lantern Batman if you want to. Obviously, you're going to need some sort of a bat call. That goes without saying. I didn't mention it in the other versions. But you can use either the Batman call that you can purchase on the marketplace. If for some reason you don't want to purchase it on the marketplace, there's the Batman Beyond call that could do the trick. And there's also quite a handful of Batman calls that you can use. You saw those Batman calls in some of my previous Batman videos. So look either at my previous Batman videos, like my Batman costume videos, or I even have a video specifically where I show a handful of Batman calls, if not more, that you can get in this universe online. And of course, there's our evil Black Lantern Batman with the corrupted aura. Obviously, I don't have the corrupted aura on my other characters, which is why I have to use my multiverse character to show this off. And there's also a few styles that I didn't give to all my Batman type characters. Like, it's not all my Batman characters that have the Batman Rebirth emblem. In some cases, I didn't bother giving them the emblem. Like the Batman, the Black Lantern Batman character I have, pretty much uses the Black Lantern chest piece or uses the Black Lantern emblem. But here, since I had the Batman Rebirth emblem of this character, I thought why not use it. The same with the gloves. I have the future Batman gloves of this character, so I went with those instead. But overall, I pretty much made something that was fairly similar to my evil Black Lantern Batman, with just a few tiny subtleties, a few tiny changes. So that's pretty much it for. Not sure how to properly call this video, Batman of the Lantern Corps or the Batman Lantern Corps. I guess I'm gonna have to think about it. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. If you have any comment, any suggestions, feel free to ask to mention so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do. And as always, guys, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.